Hey everybody, what's up? Um, this round I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick video on my setup for my shaman. Just kind of, I'm not gonna go in depth like my build or anything. I wanted to kind of show some of the add-ons I use, some of the macros I use. I've had a few people kind of asking because my UI is slightly different. Um, as you can see here, I'll turn off my cam real quick, and you can actually see both sides. Um, you know, I've got chat screens and stuff, and this isn't something I did. It is a pre-configured setup, and it includes a lot of different shit in it. So I mean, it completely revamps your UI, and everything in this UI is completely customizable. You can move it, you can shrink it, you can make it bigger, you can set up different fonts. I mean, there's so much to it. So I guess what I'll do is I'll start off with that. The UI name is Elv UI. You can go and just search for it. It is on Curse. But they actually have a main website, and I'll try to add that into the description below, and you can kind of check that out. Really good UI. There's a pretty good amount of support for it because this is what they do. Like I said, it revamps everything in your UI. It's not I don't believe it's a real big memory hog. I can't see it right here, but it's a fairly small footprint for what it does. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my add-ons page here just so you can see. You will see a shit ton of add-ons here. I don't use them all on this character. I used to be an add-on whore. I kind of still am an add-on whore. I've tried to kind of wean back a little bit, but hey, I like customization. So right off the bat, add-on control panel. That's what this little frame right here is. It allows you to turn on and off add-ons without having to log out. You can also do a quick reload UI here in case you're bugging out or anything. Really nice to have. Even if you don't use other add-ons, it's still nice to have for that quick reload, unless you want to type out the console code all the time. So personally, I don't even remember what it is anymore because I use this add-on. So all right, Atlas Loot. Pretty self-explanatory, shows the different loot for different drops in different places. So Auctioneer, yes, I still use it. Fairly straightforward. Most of these add-ons can be found right on Curse. So if you see one, check out Curse. I'm not going to go real into detail about each one, just kind of briefly, just so you can see. Battleground targets, basically it pulls up a small UI, kind of like Arena Frames, except for it's smaller, and shows when you get into like an RPG or even a random battleground, it'll show you their if they're healers, their DPS, their tank, their names, that kind of thing. You can get a better idea what you're going against. Cool Line is right down here. It basically just shows me when my abilities are coming off a cooldown. It has a rolling icon that goes across for each different type of ability. Derp. And so it just shows them. It just lets me know when they're off cooldown, so I'm not constantly having to look down at my action bars if like I'm in the middle of my screen and I don't want to, you know, just even though it's a little bit of looking away. Sometimes I don't want to do that. I don't want to take my eyes off what's going on, and it shows me at least when my shit's coming off of cooldown. So, DBM, of course, everybody uses DBM. Easy Mail, it's a nice add-on for quickly, like if you get a lot of different mail, it's a one-button click and it will automatically retrieve all your mail for you, or you can pick and choose which ones you want. You know, you don't have to go through a bunch of steps to get your mail. It's just to simplify. ElvUI, which I already described, has some different tweaks, your chat tweaks, and I mean, like they said, there is a huge amount of customization to ElvUI. So if you do decide to get it, it will take you a little bit to set up, but once you get it set up, you're gonna love it. There's so much you can do, and there's extra plugins. ElvUI Enhanced Nameplate Auras is a plugin. It's an additional. It doesn't come with ElvUI. What it does is it allows your tooltips, like when you're With this UI, when I move my mouse, that is where the tooltip will be. So if I'm clicked on someone, it will show the tooltip there instead of way over on the bottom corner of my screen. And what this one does is certain abilities I use, like let's say my flame shock. I want to know exactly when that's coming off of them. So what it can do is it can put an icon above their head, and you can adjust the size of it. So it can be a monster size icon, it can be small, it's visual so you can see what's going on. Almost a definite must-have for anybody into PvP. It just helps knowing when shit start gonna roll off of the target, or you don't even have to have them targeted. If you've got your nameplates up, it will show it for whoever is in the area. So Gladiator OSA basically just calls out cooldowns, lets you know when a person, an enemy, has used an ability, like a rogue uses cloak or vanish, or a warrior uses their shockwave. It announces it. It's an audio thing, so it just tells you when it's been used, so you can kind of keep track of what's going on if you want to use certain abilities. Healbot. I've always been a Healbot fan. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I've used this thing since back in early BC days, so I've been hooked on Healbot, which is this. It's one button clicking. I use it. It kind of helps me with, like, in battlegrounds and stuff, if I'm trying to off heal, or RBGs just for off healing. So incoming, what it is basically when you're in like AB or any place that has like I guess like a base cap area, what it does is it pops up a little box, and you can just click it, and it'll automatically type in chat that somebody's incoming. In my case it'd be Horde, and then you can click a button with it that'll say 3 Horde incoming lumber mill. Quick and easy. You don't have to type it out. Pardon me, my son is sitting here trying to hand me food. Lib is just it's kind of a support plugin, so it comes with most of the add-ons. Equipment compare is just so it can compare equipment without having to press the control. It's a little more detailed. So Omni CC, with ElvUI, as you can see, I don't use the native action bars. I've got a Razer Naga, and so I use the add-on that comes with my Naga. So and what Omni CC does is it shows the cooldown text, like a countdown, like 5, 4, 3, on the actual ability itself. So my lava burst, when it's on cooldown, it'll count it down 5, 4, 3, 2, instead of just kind of like a little clock thing that's on it. It's more of a visual thing. Oval spell priority, I actually use that leveling up. It kind of helps you for rotational purposes, and what I use it for now is also to help me know when certain things are on cooldown. And if I'm like not sure, like if I'm tagging a bunch of things with like flame shock, let's say, and I'm tab targeting, it will at least show me that target. Like if it's got a flame shock on it down here, it'll show me, okay, use your lava burst, don't tag it again with a flame shock. It works. That's what I use it for now, because I'm 90, and so I don't need it to help me kind of figure out my rotation. Especially for PvP, you don't use much of a rotation, but it is helpful for showing kind of cooldowns when it's appropriate to use. Like I said, in battlegrounds, it's a lifesaver many times, so I'm not overlapping like my flame shocks and shit. And you can change the setup of it. Like right now, you see I've got 4 buttons. It shows me like when my main hand enchant has wore off. It'll show me like my Ellie's, and you can add to it, remove from it as well. So Radiant Buster, pretty self-explanatory, just shows your stats, gives you a rundown of how much percentage wise, or however you set it up, stats you're getting for stats. Naga, which I went over. Recount, everybody knows. Reflex is it records your battleground data. It'll show you your win-loss ratio, the dates, what damage you did, what the damage was, other people in your party, and it's also shareable with other people who have the add-on. So if you're in a pretty good PvP guild and everybody wants to know how you're doing, you use this, you can share it with each other that of course have the add-on, and it will it'll show your stats, what you did in a battleground, you know. So Reforge Light, it's just an add-on to help with reforging. Say Sapped, very simple add-on. What it does is when I get sapped, it just says something in chat. I don't have to type it out. I don't have to throw out anything. It's just a simple say. It says sapped, so your teammates can help you out if they see it. Tom, which we all know, it's a little arrow thing. I used this for leveling up. I just haven't taken it off because I still once in a while I go do some of the quests I didn't do, and it helps me keep track so I know which quests I did and which ones I didn't do. Well, that's the arrow part doesn't do that, but the arrow part goes in conjunction with the WoW Pro add-on. That is a guide, a leveling guide, and like I said, you can use it for achievements, dailies, professions, world events. It's got a buttload of different guides in it, so it's something you should really check out. You can see it on Curse, but Curse doesn't keep the full version on, so you want to go to their site, which they have a link on Curse for it. So great for leveling up and afterhand for when you haven't done quests. It'll pull out the data from the Blizzard databases, and so you're not constantly wondering, well, did I do this quest or did I not do this quest while I was leveling? I can go back and do it type thing. And then of course the standard Blizzard, you know, blah, stubby plugins, you know, them are just set up for different ones, different add-ons. Derp. So and I wanted to kind of just show my macros a little bit. These are two things that I think make a big difference when I'm playing. They help me out. I've picked them up from other places, so that's why I'm kind of showing them. My burst macro, it's not really, I mean it is, but it isn't. But the reason I use it is because I use Ascendance and Stormlash Totem at the same time. I macro them together. Otherwise, I never use Stormlash. And it's just an added boost, especially if I'm proccing. I'm just laying out Lava Burst, almost a must-have. I'm a Draenei, so I use, excuse me, Gift of Naru. I also have a battle standard that I throw down for my increased health, and then a Healthstone. I should probably actually change them around and put the battle standard first. But basically, that's my oh shit, I need heals, and it will pop. It'll give me a huge amount of health and give me a couple good heals. The Grounding Totem and Tremor Totem, Wind Shear are all stop casts. Basically, if you need to drop them, you need to drop them now. You can't wait until like your juice, little man. Till like you're casting Lightning Bolt. You can't wait until that's actually done casting. You want to drop them, and you want to drop them now. So what that does is it just does a stop cast on whatever you're casting and drops that totem down. I call this my insta hex, basically, and ancestral swiftness with a hex. You got to double tap the key, and it'll cast the swiftness and then insta hex. Basically, you want to have it. I still also have the ancestral swiftness separately on my keybinds in case I need to use it for something else, but that's a really good macro in my opinion to have macro together. I used to use a stop casting Lava Burst, and after doing some reading and stuff, you don't really want to use it. Let your Lightning Bolt, if that's what you're casting, or your Elemental Blast, let them finish casting and then use your Insta Lightning Bolt. The only reason I had that on there was so I could stop casting and get my Insta Bolts out, or my Insta Bursts out there. So, and not worth doing. So just let it finish casting and go with it. So. Alright, well I hope that kind of clears up. I've had some people asking me what add-ons I use, what macros I use, so hopefully that I know it might be a little bit longer than what I wanted it to be, but it was a little more in detail. Like I said, I think like 95% of these add-ons are on the Curse site, curse.com, their WoW database. Some you can find on like I think wowinterface.com, and then the WoW Pro is on their own site, ElfUI is on their own site, but all of them are do have links on the curse site. So if you check them out, you can get a little better idea. You can see me when I'm using them in my other videos, how they're actually functioning. So you don't have to go to this extent. I'm just an add-on whore. So feel free to, you know, use what you want. Like I said, the one I would definitely say, if you're about customizing your UI without a huge memory imprint, go with the ElvUI. There's so much you can do with it. You can minimize stuff, you can separate stuff, there's so much shit you can do. I love it. And then Battleground Targets is another really good one, just so you can see your opponents when you're in a BGs. So alright, well, I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to leave a comment below if you got any questions, or if you want me to answer something else. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel up here. Really does help. I do have plans when I hit that 100 sub mark to do a giveaway of some sorts. I am not sure yet. It will be WoW related, so might be possibly a mount, might be some game time, in-game pets. So who knows? Might be something, just some goofy, something else. I don't know. But I am getting closer. So all right, hope you enjoyed. Peace.